The night was darker than Tony Stark had ever seen. Thunder rumbled across the sky, lightning flashing in harsh streaks that lit up the city in brief, violent bursts. Stark Tower loomed above, a glittering monument of human ingenuity, its windows, reflecting the storm like jagged mirrors. Inside, Tony Stark, genius, billionaire, and inventor extraordinaire, was alone in his lab, putting the finishing touches on his latest Iron Man suit. The room smelled of burnt metal and oil. The air hummed with electricity, and the soft blue glow of holographic screens danced across his face. Everything was perfectly normal, or so he thought. Then came the first sign. A faint shimmer of green light flickered across the lab's sensors. Tony froze. He frowned, tapping a few commands on the console, expecting a glitch. But the readings intensified, pulsing with an almost living rhythm. It wasn't just energy. It was a heartbeat, steady, deliberate, and menacing. And then he heard it. A low, guttural growl echoing through the empty hallways, vibrating the floor beneath him. No. It can't be, Tony muttered, a shiver crawling down his spine. From the shadows of the lab's entrance emerged a figure massive, green, and impossibly strong. Hulk. But this was different. The anger in his eyes wasn't random. It was a calculated obsession. That suit. Mine, he growled, his voice shaking the air itself. Tony's stomach dropped. He realized in that instant that this was no ordinary confrontation. Hulk wasn't here to fight. He was here to claim, to take what Tony had built, and perhaps what he had once called a friend. The storm outside roared in agreement, as if the universe itself had sensed the terror about to unfold. Tony quickly suited up, the familiar weight of the Iron Man armor giving him a semblance of confidence, though fear gnawed at the edges of his mind. Hulk, you don't want this. Walk away, Tony called out, his voice echoing through the lab, tense but firm. But Hulk didn't walk. He advanced, each step sending tremors through the floor, each breath shaking the walls. Sparks flew from broken consoles as Hulk's massive fist smashed through a lab table, scattering tools and wires like a storm. This isn't just anger, Tony thought, dodging debris. It's obsession. He's focused. He wants more than a fight. He wants control. Hulk's eyes bore into him, red with an unnatural glow, each pulse of light synchronized with his heartbeat. The suit. It's mine, Hulk repeated, voice low, almost hypnotic. Tony could feel the power behind the words, the history, the weight of every experiment gone wrong, every mistake unspoken. He realized Hulk's rage had a purpose now, a goal that Tony could not ignore, no matter how much technology he had built. The first clash shook the lab violently. Repulsor blasts tore through walls, and Hulk's fists smashed metal like paper. Every strike carried the echoes of years of betrayal and unintended consequences. Tony was fast, his suit giving him speed and flight, but Hulk's raw strength was overwhelming. Each moment stretched into eternity, each breath laced with the terrifying realization. This wasn't just a battle of strength, it was a battle for survival. And Tony wondered silently, could he reason with a creature who had long since stopped listening? Tony found himself cornered in an abandoned factory, its walls lined with broken machinery and flickering lights. Sparks flew from severed wires, casting erratic shadows across the room. Hulk entered slowly, methodically, his massive form silhouetted in green and black, his breathing deep and measured. You built me, you control me, but now you will pay, Hulk growled, each word resonating like a hammer striking steel. Tony activated his suit's defensive protocols, repulsors flaring, but his mind raced faster than the technology around him. I can't outfight him, Tony admitted internally. I have to outthink him. If there's any chance of surviving this, it's in the mind, not the metal. Hulk advanced relentlessly, smashing the factory machinery in his path. Every explosion echoed like a drumbeat of impending doom. Tony tried reasoning, appealing to the memories of Bruce Banner, to the friendship they once shared. But it was clear. The Hulk he knew no longer existed. This was a creature consumed by desire. Desire for the armor, for control, for the power Tony had unwittingly bestowed. And as the green giant loomed closer, Tony realized the horrifying truth. One wrong move, and this would be the last night he ever saw. In the midst of chaos, Tony noticed something he had overlooked. The Iron Man suit wasn't just armor, it was a key that could either amplify Hulk's power or contain it. The very arc reactor he had designed had the potential to interact with gamma energy in ways Tony hadn't fully tested. Ways that could make Hulk unstoppable or give Tony a chance to regain control. Memories flooded back, past mistakes, experiments gone wrong, the unintended consequences of his genius. Tony realized Hulk's obsession wasn't just about rage. It was about reclaiming what Tony had built for control, what he had once tried to manipulate, what he had unknowingly promised Hulk in the early days of his experiments. The armor was more than metal. It was a symbol, a weapon, and a psychological trigger. Tony's mind raced, formulating a plan. If I give him the armor, he wins. If I don't, everything dies. But maybe there's a third way, he whispered, fingers flying across the suit's controls. The factory trembled as Hulk smashed another steel beam near Tony, sparks flying dangerously close. Every second stretched into eternity. Every heartbeat resonated with suspense, and the air was thick with fear and anticipation. As Tony fought, dodging another massive punch that shattered the lab wall, memories flashed in his mind. Years ago, a failed gamma experiment had turned Bruce Banner into Hulk. Tony had tried to help, to stabilize the monster, to keep him in check. But each intervention, each invention, each tweak and repair he had made unknowingly amplified something darker within Hulk. A seed of obsession that Tony never imagined would grow into this. Hulk's footsteps echoed in Tony's mind as much as in the lab. This wasn't just rage, it was remembrance. Hulk remembered every time Tony tried to control him, every time he had taken away his freedom, even in the guise of protection. And now, the Green Goliath wasn't after revenge in the way Tony expected. He wasn't out for destruction. He was here to claim the armor, the ultimate symbol of control, the pinnacle of Tony's genius. Every metal plate, every arc reactor pulse, every circuit inside that suit represented something Hulk believed was his birthright to wield. Tony realized with a sinking heart that this was personal. I created him, he whispered, almost to himself, dodging debris as Hulk smashed another console. I built this, and now he wants it all. The realization was terrifying. Hulk wasn't just angry, he was right. And the knowledge that his friend, his ally, had turned into this unstoppable force sent a cold wave of dread across Tony's chest. He had to survive, not just for himself, but for everyone who would suffer if Hulk claimed the armor. As Tony fought, dodging another massive punch that shattered the lab wall, memories flashed in his mind. Years ago, a failed gamma experiment had turned Bruce Banner into Hulk. Tony had tried to help, to stabilize the monster, to keep him in check. But each intervention, each invention, each tweak and repair he had made unknowingly amplified something darker within Hulk. A seed of obsession that Tony never imagined would grow into this. Hulk's footsteps echoed in Tony's mind, as much as in the lab. This wasn't just rage, it was remembrance. Hulk remembered every time Tony tried to control him, every time he had taken away his freedom, even in the guise of protection. And now, the Green Goliath wasn't after revenge in the way Tony expected. He wasn't out for destruction. He was here to claim the armor, the ultimate symbol of control, the pinnacle of Tony's genius. Every metal plate, every arc reactor pulse, every circuit inside that suit represented something Hulk believed was his birthright to wield. Tony realized with a sinking heart that this was personal. I created him, he whispered, almost to himself, dodging debris as Hulk smashed another console. I built this, and now he wants it all. The realization was terrifying. Hulk wasn't just angry, he was right. And the knowledge that his friend, his ally, had turned into this unstoppable force sent a cold wave of dread across Tony's chest. He had to survive, not just for himself, but for everyone who would suffer if Hulk claimed the armor. Hulk lunged, crashing through the factory with devastating force. Tony dodged, firing repulsors and activating hidden protocols, lights flickering, machinery exploding. The battle was a symphony of chaos. Green energy colliding with metal, sparks flying, steel bending, thunder crashing outside. Each blow Tony delivered was calculated, each maneuver a delicate balance between survival and desperation. Hulk roared, a sound that seemed to shake reality itself. Tony activated the suit's hidden protocol, merging technology with a flicker of hope. Green and gold energy intertwined as metal and gamma collided, the air vibrating with power beyond comprehension. Both combatants paused for a moment, Tony's breath ragged, Hulk's chest heaving, but neither willing to yield. Tony's mind raced. He had to act, not just to survive, but to save Hulk from the obsession consuming him. He pushed the suit's systems to the limit, feeling the fusion of his intellect and Hulk's raw force for the first time. Sparks, smoke, and energy swirled violently around them, and then, just as the green glow reached a blinding crescendo, everything went black. When the dust settled, the factory lay in ruins. The green glow had vanished, the Iron Man suit was gone, and the air was heavy with silence. But the echo of Hulk's roar lingered in the shadows, a chilling reminder that this battle was far from over. Tony lay amidst the wreckage, shaken but alive, haunted by the realization that his friend, his creation, had become something unstoppable. The world outside remained oblivious to the terror that had unfolded. Somewhere in the darkness, Hulk waited. Whether he had claimed the armor or simply disappeared, no one could say for sure. And Tony knew deep in his heart that this confrontation had changed everything, forever. The battle wasn't just for control, power, or survival. It was for the very soul of the man Tony once called a friend. The night lingered, heavy and oppressive, as if the storm had never ended. And somewhere, amidst the ruins, a faint glimmer of green light flickered. Hulk's eyes watching, waiting, and promising that the nightmare was far from over. Whoa. Did you see that? Hulk is still out there, watching, waiting. What do you think he'll do next? Will Tony survive? Or has the Hulk finally claimed the ultimate power? Comment below with your theory. What would you do if you were Tony? And if you loved this epic showdown, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next chapter of this insane battle. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens when Hulk returns.